Hi, my name is Lauren Barker with Barker Pilates. I'm working with Rollga today to demonstrate a couple of their rollers and how to use them well from head to toe. Because most problems start with our feet, we're going to start with our feet. To do your foot most effectively, we're going to use zone 3 to start. Our heel fits just inside of it. Then we press out and pull in. So you can pull all the way up to your toes if that feels comfortable, and then flex for an added stretch, and then push all the way back through. So zone 2 and zone 4 are digging into the arch and side of your foot. And then after you've done that, you can press your leg to straight for a stretch. To get a hamstring stretch, I'm going to keep my core nice and straight, hinge at the waist, and there it is. My hamstrings are tight today, so I can feel it. I'm pulling my toes towards my nose and making sure that that lever stays still as I work it. If you want to get the arch to open up, you're going to put your foot on zone 2, which is right there. My arch wraps around, I curl my toes over, and I pull my heel through. Just rocking with pressure, and I get to choose how much pressure I would like. So I can shift my body weight into it. If I can tolerate more, I would hinge back if I can't. And that will release the arch. I prefer to use the Rollga Micro because it has smaller ridges and it's firmer texture. So it's going to dig into your arch a little bit better. To do that, it's the same. You're going to just put your heel on the edge of the Rollga, pull all the way through to your toe, and then flex your toes up. I'm shifting my body weight into my leg because that feels good for me to have more pressure. And then I'm going to push my foot all the way through. Now you'll notice that when you get to your arch, you can rock towards the side and really milk that stretch more. You'll probably have a little bit of sticky in the arch because of the shoes that we wear that are confining, and that'll help break it up. You won't want to push too much on the side, the lateral side of your foot, because it's more bony and it's just not going to feel very good. Rocking 4 to 6 times, forward and back, and slower is better. I know we all get in a hurry, especially me, so I have to remind myself, slow and steady to get the most out of it. My favorite way to use the Rollga roller is for my back. As a Pilates instructor, I use my arm-back connection frequently. Trying to avoid my neck, making this stronger can make it awfully stiff. Most rollers can't really get your back very well because you have to avoid your spine. The way the Rollga is shaped, in this peanut shape, your spine fits in zone 1. So zone 2s can massage the muscles that line your spine, your postural muscles. For me in particular, I need that. To do it at home, you're going to move to where the roller just sits above the flat part of your back. This is a bony place that doesn't like to be rolled. There's not enough meat there, so it would feel unpleasant. When you roll back, you have options. So some people like more pressure and some people don't. So if you're new to this, you're going to grab the back sides of your thighs and you can just drag your bottom on the mat. And you still feel pressure because the Rollga shape is going to allow you to dig in a way that other rollers won't, but it won't be as extreme. I'm used to a lot of pressure, so I lift my glutes up. You'll notice that that's putting more tension in my neck. So I'm going to interlace my fingers like a basket. I put the back of my skull in the basket and I press my head back. That is allowing my upper back muscles to turn on. I'm going to pull my shoulders wide and it'll give me more surface area to roll. So as I pull down and push up, I start to listen for the parts that are the most cranky. You're going to feel that there are some areas you want to avoid. Unfortunately, those are the ones you get to hang out in. So for most people, it's going to be the middle of the back, right about here. It's your thoracic spine. You're going to hold there and breathe. Usually about 30 seconds is good. And then you're going to start to rock up and down above that spot, helping to loosen it up. And then you'll do full passes back, up and down. In order to get to the top of your back a little bit better, you're going to pull your elbows in towards your ears. You're still going to push your head back into your hands, But now you need to focus on pulling those shoulders down. When you do that, you'll be able to get the hard to reach places towards your neck more effectively. It's where a lot of people carry tension that can lead to tension headaches. And again, those passes slowly up and down, 4 to 6 times, and then you're done. In order to roll out your forearms, we do different hand positions to reach around the forearm more effectively. The first hand position is interlaced. The second one, you're holding your hand. For that one, you will also switch directions. Then there's the pistol. And then the last one is my favorite. I call it the church steeple because it reminds me of the song growing up. You press your fingertips together actively for that one. What it looks like is your forearms fit into zone 3, and then they do the grip, whichever one you're doing, in front. You get to use your body weight as leverage. So some people like a lot of pressure, so I would hinge my body weight more over the roller. Some people don't, so I would shift my glutes back a little bit. But either way, you're very slowly passing from just below your elbow to your wrist in those different positions. You'll do 4 up and down of each one. The other thing I like for the forearm is the Rollga Micro. It's really great for carpal tunnel because then you can use your other hand to control how much pressure you want. I keep this at my desk when I have to type a lot. I can use it on my desk to roll out my forearm back and forth, turn my forearm, and then turn my forearm. There's also a spot right here that gets a knot. You can either use the end of it or you can bring the whole device and roll right there. I like that this has a little loop on it, so I attach it to my backpack handle. That way it's always there and I see it as a reminder to use it more frequently. This is also what we use on our feet, so great Christmas stocking stuffer for this one. Next up is the lat. It's kind of a hard place to get with a lot of rollers, but the Rollga has zone 3 and our lat fits right in it. So I'm going to lay down on my side. And my legs are leverage, so you're going to either want to have them where you can press up, or if you're a masochist, where you can press long. This arm goes straight first because we've got to find just the right spot. It's just below my armpit and a little up in the back. When I actively stretch my hand towards the opposite wall, if I lean back a little bit, hello, I found it. And then from there, we get to decide what we do about it. I can just hold this and breathe. If I'm that tight, this is enough. If I want to level up, I'm going to lift up for more pressure. If I want more than that, then I get to wiggle this. So I'm going to pull my hand up to tap the back of my head and then actively reach my fingers long. And you do that 5 or 6 times. It kind of looks like, how you doing? But you're going to reach and tap and reach and tap. And then you can hold long, rock back, rock forward. And you can do the same thing with your hand behind your head. You'll rock back and you'll rock forward. The other position you can do, it's like a Pilates move actually. You put your hand in your heads and then you're gonna lift up to that side plank and you can hold that for some pressure. If you have really long arms, that won't be as effective for you. I just happen to have short arms. Then you'll lower your glutes down and try your other side. Next up is the back side of our legs. With the Rollga, you're able to dig a little bit more effectively, which may mean you want less pressure. This is a soft to medium roller, so it's gonna be a little bit more kind to your legs, but still, be careful. Add pressure as you see that you can. I take the roller first, and I'm going to put it underneath my ankles, and then I lift up. That'll help you gauge how much pressure you can tolerate. If you're still good, then you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna take it down by your calf and lift up. If you're still okay, then we get to move. I'm not letting my shoulders sag. I'm going into a really good reverse plank. Then I'm gonna pull through to my ankle using my tummy and push back out again. I'm keeping my toes vertical, not allowing them to shift side to side, only back and forth. After you do 4 to 6 passes that way, then we're gonna work on the lateral part of the muscle. I have to have more pressure for that. So you could do this if you need less pressure. If you can tolerate more pressure, you're going to cross your right leg over your left, lift up, and then shift your body weight to the left. From there, I roll to just below the back of my knee and all the way up to above my ankle. And I press out and I pull in. Now, to activate the calf while we roll it, we point our toes. That will make it more intense. So if you were like, this is fine, then you don't have to add on. But if you need more, then you're going to point your toes. And again, 4 to 6 passes on that lateral side of your calf. Then you'll go down and you're going to shift to the inside part of your calf. Again, I like more pressure. So I'm crossing my right leg over my left. I'm pointing my toes, and then I'm gonna go down and up. Now for this one, you want to make sure you're getting this part of your ankle because that is the muscle that's gonna be tender. It affects how your ankle works. So we wanna make sure we get it to relax and enjoy the pressure as much as we can. If zone 3 is too much for that, you can always move to zone 1 and do it from zone 1. That's a little more kind if that's really sensitive for you. Again, 4 to 6 passes on the inside part of your calf. Then after you've completed both legs, we move to the hamstring. With the hamstring, 2 legs at the same time is more kind. Same thing, you push all the way down to your glutes, you pull all the way up to the back of your knee. That's not enough pressure for me. I usually use my hamstrings for all of the Pilates exercises, and still, it's not bothering me. So I'm gonna cross my right leg over my left. I'm gonna roll in zone 3, down to my knee and back up to my glute. The first position is keeping my toes pointed up. The second one is, again, that lateral movement with weight. And with this one, we get to play with our feet. So we can have our toes pointed and flex. So I tell my clients it's like flipping our fins, right? It's like a mermaid tail. And I'm rolling down and I'm pressing through. And because I'm moving my feet, I'm getting more of that hamstring activation. Same thing, you can do the inside thigh. It looks more like a Captain Morgan stance. And then you're gonna press and pull through. It's not a big movement when you get to the inner thigh because we'll do adductors separately. 4 to 6 passes, up and down, both sides. Then we move to the outside of our thigh, the IT band. This is the one that everybody avoids. It's miserable. No one enjoys it. But I will say the more you do it, the less unpleasant it feels. You may have to start in zone 1 if that is too much pressure to do zone 3. I like zone 3. I line up the middle of my thigh in zone 3, and then I'm gonna go down to a forearm side plank. From here, there are levels, many levels. If you want an easy way out, you're gonna have a break leg. That way, if you start to roll and it's too much pressure, you press through that foot and you can come right out of it. If you're okay with the pressure and you know, then that leg gets to stack on top of the other one. You point your toes, and then I'm using this arm and this hand to pull me down towards my knee and then back towards my hip. Not on the hip bone, not on the knee socket, but close to both. You're gonna notice more pressure towards the hip or towards the knee or both because that IT band pulls on both of those joints. I'm keeping my body perfectly perpendicular to the floor. A lot of times our bodies will shift back or forward to avoid what it doesn't like. And so we don't want it to cheat. Then you're gonna roll the roller to the middle of your thigh. Keep your toes pointed, and you're gonna lift and lower your top leg. It just enhances the stretch part of the roll. From there, I'm gonna shift my body weight a little bit forward and roll down and up, and then back to center. If you can tolerate more pressure, you get to flip your fin while you roll, or if you're a masochist, you get to really swim. So you're pulling that fin back as you roll up and down. This is not for the person who's new to rolling. This is for the person who rolls all the time and needs extra. because it will make you hold your breath. If you hold your breath, it makes it worse. Your muscles will lock up, so you have to breathe. I don't care how bad it gets. It's better to stop than to hold your breath. Again, 4 to 6 passes, and then you see how your other side is. For glutes, you put your tailbone in zone 1, and then zone 2s are sitting just on either side on your glutes. From here, we decide how much pressure we like. So I could just rock gently back and forth over my glutes. And if that is enough for you, good for you. Enjoy it. If it is not enough for you, then there's more. We get to cross one leg over the other leg. And then you see how my calf wanted to wander. It has to go back in line with the rest of my legs. So my ankle is in line with my knee, which is in line with my hip. From there, I pull these toes towards me. When you dorsiflex your foot like that or throw on the brakes, it activates that glute. So I rotate my body towards the leg that I crossed over, and then I start to roll up and down. And that just got more intense. So if you're thinking, that was a bad choice, then you can put your foot back down and go back to just rocking back and forth. Otherwise, you get to join me and get the whole outer side of that glute. So we have 3 glutes, and this one is going to get all 3. Check all those boxes. 4 to 6 passes up and down. And again, you want to dig where you feel the most tender, because why are we doing this if we're not trying to make that better, right? Then you would uncross and you would recross and you would do the same thing on the other side. The other way that you can get your glutes is to put both of your glutes in the ridge of zone 3. Once you've found that spot, sometimes it takes a little wiggling, you can do the same thing that we did last time, just starting with the wiggles. So I'm just rocking side to side as far as I can go with control, which may be more on one side than the other if your hips are anything like mine. Then you can do the same thing. You can cross that leg up. Again, you flex that foot, and then you're gonna rock towards that side. And you would focus then on the glute towards the side of the knee you folded up. You would plant it down, recross, same thing on the other side. Then, in order to get the top part of your glute, that often pulls on your lower back and give you a sore lower back, you're going to roll back. And you're in this bridge position. From here, again, I'm gonna adjust it so I get it just right. I'm squeezing my tummy so that my back isn't arching, and I'm gonna rock side to side one more time. And now that pressure is going on the top of my glute, in my lower back, and then right over my SI joint, which feels lovely. If you have SI joint dysfunction, you know what I'm talking about when you have that pain and tenderness where that joint is on either side. It can be both or one-sided. You'll do this to help with that. You can cross your leg over on the side where you are tender and have the most discomfort. And again, you're just rocking side to side on that SI joint. If you want more pressure, you get to lift up and do it. Now it's harder to rock in this position, right? You gotta be super coordinated, but honestly, just holding it, that pressure on that spot feels really good. For that, you could just breathe. So you would set a timer and breathe 30 seconds to a full minute and allow yourself to relax and melt into the mat. You may have to close your eyes. You may have to find your happy place if it's super tender, or you may have to de-escalate and go down a level. But that is the spot you would want to hold, either on one side or on both, depending on where you feel the discomfort. If you suffer from lower back pain, I don't know anyone who doesn't, honestly. You'll put the roller just above your glutes on that lower part of your back. I've lined up my tailbone with zone 1 so that both of zone 2s hit where my SI joint is and slightly lower. And then from there, if I rock, so I'm holding on to zone 4 so I don't fall off. If I rock gently side to side, it's a lovely lower back massage. And you can decide how high up you need to go. Again, you don't want to get on your sacrum because it's just too bony. You're not really going to help yourself any. But as long as I stay where I can feel meat and I feel the muscle trying to release, then I'm in a good place. It should feel yummy, not painful. So no burning, shooting, ouch. It should feel like you're melting. And then I can pull my knees in for more pressure and then reach my legs away. So it's changing the angle and the pressure level a little bit for me to move my legs out and pull my legs back in. And again, I can push the roller a little bit lower if that spot is a little bit lower, just using my hands to hold it in place while my legs move and enhance the stretch. Your inner thighs will surprise you every time. So be careful. You don't know what you may have done that has gotten them tight, so move slowly. You go down on your stomach. One leg is going straight, and my forearms are here to help me move and navigate the pressure. The roller goes underneath my inner thigh on this side, and I'm putting it on zone 2. If you want less pressure, you're going to put it in one of the ridges, either zone 1 or zone 3. But I want this to dig because I know I need it and I'm being brave. I'm going to put it on zone 2 for me. From there, I turn my torso to face the mat. I'm grounding myself in my straight leg, and then I'm using my forearms to help push and pull me over that roller. I'm going to go as close to my groin as feels comfortable, and then I'm going to pull as close to my knee as feels comfortable. You're trying to keep the pressure pretty consistent, but if you need more, you can lift up this back leg. So you notice how I flexed my back foot. It's carrying my body weight so that I can shift it more into the leg that's bent. That will make this very intense. So stages, right? Leg down, just a little bit of pressure, then leg up. After you've rolled out your adductor, there's a way you can do some nerve flossing in this position, which feels pretty lovely. If you point your straight leg toes, you'll pull them up towards your glute. Holy smokes, that will make your hamstring activate. Super, oh my word. If you want your hamstring to stay out of it, you're gonna flex your foot and pull it towards your glute. That will be less intense in that way. Either way, it's causing a stretch and activation down the backside of that leg, which is something you won't normally be able to get in other positions. It's allowing this hip to open while the other leg moves. Just make sure that you keep your tummy on. You don't want your back sagging in this position because it could feel very unpleasant if it does so. And then you can alternate between both foot positions if you want the best of both worlds. Now comes the shins. Now with most rollers, you can't roll your shin. You would just be rolling on the bone and be miserable. With the Rollga, you can fit your shins into zone 3 or into zone 1. I prefer zone 3 because it's a little bit deeper. But before we get to them, you can get the outside part. This is sometimes called the point of 100 diseases. And I can see why, because it's super tender. That's where a couple of your muscles intersect. And so it can be a tension point for your body. If you get zone 4, you can press into that. So I'm taking one hand, supporting that knee, and then I'm using zone 4 to apply pressure and then move in a circular motion. You can also circle the opposite way, or you can hold for that pressure. Now, if you lie down, you can do the same thing, but sometimes if it's really tender, you're not gonna want more pressure than that. Then we get to do our shins. As with all of the roller moves, you have to maintain good form. I'm going to put my hands directly underneath my shoulders. I'm going to press strongly out of my shoulders. And then I'm going to pull my stomach up. My feet are pulling off of the mat. And I'm going to pull my knees in towards my elbows and then press my knees away. So just below your knee is a good resting point. That pressure isn't going to bother you. And you can decide how much more pressure you can tolerate as you go down. If I point my toes, I'm going to get one sensation from it. If I flex my feet, I'll get a different one. If you have big feet, you won't be able to flex your feet and do this one. You'll have to keep your toes pointed. But if you have small feet, then lucky duck, you get to do both, and actually flex feet feels better because that is actually activating your shin. You can alternate like you're pedaling as you go up and down, and that will give you something even better. Always press strongly out of your shoulders, keep your waist up, and then 4 to 6 passes total. Our quads are something that we can do both at the same time, or like I always do, I like to do one at a time. I'll demonstrate both at the same time first. You put your knees just below the roller and go into that plank position. Again, pulling your stomach up. You don't want your lower back to sag, and you don't want your shoulders to sag. None of this. From here, you'll pull with your palms and push with your palms. You'll notice that my toes are pointed. That's going to feel a particular way with my legs. If I flex my feet, it's going to feel a different way. So you can play with that lever and see which one feels better for you. I like to do both. Then you can switch to one at a time if you notice that this isn't enough pressure. To do one quad at a time, it's the same mount that we did before. I'm putting my knee just below the roller, and then I'm going to go into that plank. Now from here, I want more pressure, but you could just do it like this, where you're using this leg to push and pull you up the roller. That's going to be a very gentle roll. If you're like me and you like the aggressive one, then this leg reaches up and over the other one. Again, our arms are the leverage, right? They're going to push and pull us through the movement, but all of the pressure is on that quad. If I keep my body facing the mat without rocking side to side, I'm getting the main muscle in the middle, the biceps femoris, which is where a lot of people have problems. That one's usually pretty tight. For me, my tight one is on the outside of my leg. It's the vastus lateralis. So to get that one, I'm bringing my body at a 45-degree angle to the mat. Again, my arms are gonna push and pull me up. Do this one carefully. It will surprise you. It starts off gentle maybe towards your knee, and you can tell it's a little bit tight. The further you get up towards your hip, the more tight it can be. We get a trigger point right here. So be careful. Don't hold your breath. You have to breathe through the movement. And again, just like with the IT band, we can add that push and pull with our feet, that flipping our fin as we roll up and down. You're not going to want to roll into your IT band. You're not going to want to roll forward. It's the 45-degree angle between the two to get that lateral muscle in your quad. 4 to 6 passes, and you better breathe. I have yet to meet a person who hasn't told me that their hip flexors are tight. Yet. Still haven't. Years, still haven't. To get the hip flexor, you're gonna have to put your big girl panties on because it gets intense. You do one leg at a time because otherwise your pubic bone gets caught on it and it's very unpleasant for everyone involved. And boys, you just can always do it with one leg. I'm going to line up zone 3 if I'm being gentle, zone 2 if I'm being brave, into my hip crease. So what that looks like, I've bent this leg beside it and I've let my top foot go flat. I'm enabling a stretch by doing that. When I put my hip flexor there, I get to walk my arms down, again to that plank position because it allows me to push up if I feel an emergency. If not, I try to square off my hips as best I can to the mat in front of me. From there, you can roll up and down. You can use your back foot as that lever, pushing and pulling with it to work with your arms. If you want more pressure, then you're going to lift that foot up. It's starting to get real. If you're being very brave today, then you're going to pull those pointed toes towards your glute. You're gonna breathe, because you're gonna really wanna hold your breath right about there. And you might use your big people words. So make sure your kids have their earmuffs handy. But more intense is to pulse that while it's open. Now, I'm not allowing myself to bend like that over it. I have to keep all of my torso open or it's not gonna do what it's supposed to do. You can make it even worse or better, depending on your perspective, by coming up and doing this. Because again, that's making a nice long stretch while I'm adding pressure to that joint. And then I'm going to articulate that muscle while I have that pressure. And I'm gonna smile because I'm on camera. Yeah, it's good. And this is my bad side. So if you have a bad side, you start with it. And that way it doesn't surprise you when you do your good side. You're pleasantly surprised when you do your good side. Again, 4 to 6 times, finding the level that is doable for you today. Tomorrow may be different. Yesterday may have been different. Today is a new body. It is a new day. Pick the appropriate level. There are a few different tools that we can use to get our psoas, which is a complicated muscle to get, right? It's so deep that sometimes it's hard to really get down to it. The Myodot was designed for that. You can place it right between your belly button and your hip bone. That line in between the two is where you're going to find your psoas. You would lay down on your stomach and then fold over that. Yeah, mine's tight. If you laugh, you'll feel it activate as well. So squeezing your tummy, you're gonna get pressure. You want to release the squeeze of your stomach. It goes limp. You're not trying to show off your abs. You're trying to relax, melt into the roller. So if you can bring your hands all the way down and lay down, then you're gonna have the best amount of weight for that. You will breathe through this. So big inhales, long exhales for 30 seconds to a full minute. You can also lift this leg up and down just to make sure that you've got the right amount of pressure. It'll give you feedback, and then relax and enjoy it. I bent my leg out to the side so I have better range and can actually lay flat. The same thing can be done with our tried and true. So if you don't have a Myodot, don't fret. We can do the same thing with this one. It's almost more entertaining to use because we get to treat it like a baby. Same space, belly button to hip, that little line in between, zone 4 goes on that line. So it's like I'm advertising a baguette or I'm holding a young infant. And then I'm gonna lay down, same way that I did before, on that roller. The more I can relax over it, the more I'm going to stretch. So I may have to get this out of the way a little bit so I can dig better. Again, I can stretch my arms long. And then focus on breathing. Your inhales are gonna make it stretch more because it's putting pressure on that. It will feel unpleasant. So you really need to focus on big inhales. That's gonna allow for the most stretch. Your long exhales help you sink deeper into it. Exhales are used for the reset and the here it comes, and then inhales are the moment. So make the most of the moment. Each side will be different. So you may have more tenderness or tightness or sensation on one side or the other, which is why we do both. If you have a point roller, you lucky duck, this was designed for that. The point of the roller can go right there in that zone that we pointed out before, belly button to hip in between. You can sit and do it. That's enough pressure. I can just press down into it and there I go. If I want more pressure than that, or if my arms are tired, I did arms today, I need more pressure, I'm going to put the end of this on the wall and then I lean into the wall. Again, I'm going to hold, I'm going to breathe, focusing on those inhales, regrouping during the exhales. Believe it or not, you do roll out your chest. Ladies, I know that seems like something you wouldn't or shouldn't do, but it matters. The muscle just above where our breasts are get really tight. If you have postural problems, so if you notice that your shoulders sag forward, right? Tech neck. This needs to open. We make our back strong and that helps, but our back muscles can't do their job if our pectoral muscles are pulling them this way. They're both fighting over the same joint. So we have to get the front loose for the back to get stronger. These two rollers do the chest really well. If you only have this one, then the format is the same. You put zone 2s on either side of your sternum. It rests just like that. And then you're adding pressure with your hands on zone 4. You roll up and you roll down. And then again, 4 to 6 passes slowly. You're gonna find a point where it's more tender. You can hold that one and breathe. Inhales will be uncomfortable, but worth it. Exhales let you press a little bit deeper. And then you can also rock side to side. So I will often roll up and down to find where I'm the most tender. There I'll hold, and then I rock side to side. So whichever spot that is for you, it can be low, medium, or higher. I like the point better for this. I'm smaller boned, and so the way the ridges fit on my chest is just a little bit better. You'll see the Rollga normal one has bigger, wider ridges, and this one has smaller, shorter ones. And so if I put it on my chest like this, I can navigate the pressure a little bit better. I don't have to press quite so hard because the Rollga point is firmer. Again, rolling up and down, rocking side to side, and then finding the cranky spot and just adding enough pressure that I'm getting something out of it. Focusing on my breath, big inhales, slow, steady exhales until you've done 4 to 6 counts. My neck is a hot mess express. I have bulging discs in levels 4 through 6, and so I frequently have issues with various exercises and need to use a roller to reset. I'm not alone, however, because with anxiety being so predominant in our culture currently, tension headaches, migraines, and the like are on the rise. The moves that I use for my neck help with that as well. So I'm going to demonstrate with the ones that work for me, and it doesn't matter which roller you use. You can either use the large Rollga peanut or you can use the point roller. Both work in a very similar way. My neck prefers the point roller, so I'm going to use that one to demonstrate today. You take your roller, and I'm putting my neck into zone 1, or you can put it into zone 3, whichever one feels better for your neck. And then I'm going to focus my gaze on the ceiling, keeping my chin in straight line, and then all I do is press my head back. So I'm just adding gentle pressure, nothing fancy. If I want to really work my occipital lobe, I'm going to tuck my chin ever so slightly and then press back. If you get double chins, you're doing it right. I'm adding pressure in my neck and reaching my neck long, and then I'm pressing through my palms to scoop my glutes up. If I want more pressure than that, I can reach my hands towards the ceiling. It's not a whole lot more pressure, but it is enough that I am getting more from this now that I have it. So there's that. And then I would bring my hands back down, roll my glutes down. There are 2 trigger points on the back of your occipital lobe, and the roller's round points hit right on them. So this should feel pretty delicious if you're doing this at home. You can just hold here and enjoy it and watch the clock for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it takes to help some of that tension dissipate for you. For me, sometimes it's 5 minutes, and I just hang out and watch TV with my kids. It's fun. Then I'm rolling my glutes back down. I can duck my chin. Again, all the double chins, good. Then I lift my chin up. I'm keeping pressure on the back of my neck while I do these nods. Wherever I'm pressing down, it's getting a massage. So I'm wanting to maintain that pressure all the way through. Untuck my chin to turn my head. When you turn your head, again, you're only turning about 40 degrees to either side. Same thing, I will tuck my chin, reach my neck long, press back with my head, scooch my glutes up, and then if I want more pressure in that position, I can lift my arms up as well. And then you can hold it. It's not hard to hold this position. It's not like a big workout or anything. It's just giving you a little bit more pressure to enjoy the stretch and the tension release that's going on in the back of your neck. And then when you're ready to come out of it, again, I'm going to lower my glutes down first, then my hands, then turn my head. So you never want to be torquing your neck under tension. Everything goes slowly, one piece at a time, with control. You can also close your eyes, which helps relax the muscles in your face and will overall allow the muscles in this area to relax and calm down. Big inhales, it increases the pressure. Long exhales are going to help those muscles relax because of the parasympathetic nervous system. Then you'll turn your head back to center and do more of what your neck appreciates. It doesn't take a lot to feel better, but you can do as much as your body needs.